Hey everybody, today I'm bringing you something a little bit different. I am bringing you the Etheria Film Festival 2020 selection of film shorts. Now, like South by Southwest, the Etheria Film Festival has pretty much had to go online and digital. They're not able to have as many or if any of the actual screenings. Now, for those of you not familiar with the Etheria Film Festival, it is a film festival celebrating women directors, and it is mostly focused on sci-fi, horror, or fantasy shorts. So this year, as a way to get that out there, they have partnered up with Shudder, and Shudder is featuring the selection that they had of 9 short films. Now, I know it seems like I'm a promo person for Shudder. I have no sponsorship by Shudder, but I do pay my monthly subscription, and I think it's well worth it. They are producing some of the most daring, exciting, interesting film work out there. And I love the fact that they're supporting film festivals like the Etheria Film Festival, as opposed to some other sites which are just doing the more general kind of festivals that aren't necessarily exploring interesting things. Now, first of all, I would say this is a real solid collection of shorts. I would say other than a couple, which I didn't like too much, they are all good to great. And I'm going to feature, or I guess talk about 4 of my favorites from the selection here today. Now, I do want to mention what's great about this film festival is that not only you would think like, oh, women directors, we're going to have all, male, female, gender issues or something like that, which there's certainly some of that in there, which is great. But you've got everything from sexual roles being explored, just basic societal interesting stuff that sci-fi and horror can deal with. You've got, both male and male, female, male protagonist, female protagonist. You've got the whole gamut of life. So once again, it kind of forces you to not stereotype what you think about as a woman director. So once again, I appreciate that aspect as well. And just the fact that it's horror, because so many people stereotype horror as being a guy thing. So all in all, it seems to be a great festival, and I would wholly support anything that they're putting out because they seem to have a real good eye for this stuff. All right, well, first of all, a lot of these do kind of fall into a similar category as Black Mirror style, in that a lot of them deal with some kind of technology or slightly futuristic elements or societal elements, kind of the same way Black Mirror does. Once again, that's just a great way to explore a lot of the issues going on in society now, is to give them a little twist. But to give you a flavor for that, that's kind of what a lot of these are going down. Although some are just straight horror. So let's begin. The first one I'm going to talk about is Ava in the End. Now, Ava in the End, I'm sorry, I'm going to refer to my notes, so I might look down a little bit, because I can't remember all the names off the top of my head. Ava in the End is directed by Ursula Ellis, and Ava is played by Elsa Gay, and then the computer is played by Ali Galarani, I think I said that right. Now, this is a pretty basic concept, but it's really well done. Ava is in some sort of she's in like inside of an AI. So basically she finds out immediately she has died. The computer or AI tells her that. She's died, her essence has been uploaded currently into the cloud or something, and she's just waiting temporarily to get put back into another body or into a robot or into an android, something like that. And it's really the key of this one is it's like a lot of these, they're 15 minutes or less, so nothing too long. But the idea of this really almost, quote, Karen-like character of Ava is really surly and not a very nice person to the AI. And she has to discover really quickly she can't call for the manager and that she's not in control anymore. And there's a very humorous and eventually less humorous interaction between the computer and Ava, as Ava comes to discover fully the nature of what has happened to her and what might be happening to her in the future. And actually, all I got to say, once again, these are all short. It's just a great setup that immediately you see Ava, and she's confused and angry and snippy, and her character is really, really amusing, and it's a good one. The next one is Basic Witch. Basic Witch is directed by Yoka Okamura, and by the title alone, you know it's a play on Basic Bitch. So you know something different is going to be happening here with kind of the generic concept that entails. The idea of, a pumpkin spice latte drinking, middle America, upper middle class, white girl concept is what you kind of are playing on. But what's really good about this one, although there is a little bit of magical elements in it, it's basically a two-hander, two people, a man and a woman who are a couple. You're not sure how long they've been together, but long enough to seem pretty comfortable with each other. And it's the morning after they've had a romantic encounter, which he thinks was excellent, and she thinks wasn't all that. And basically, you get the two characters. I'll tell you who they are. Get Lily, played by Olivia Castano. She's really good in this. She's excellent. Actually, both characters in this are really good. Brian, played by Chris O'Brien. It's breakfast the morning after, and you get to have her really demonstrate to him how he's not empathizing or understanding really how he's playing into the roles of the two. So this one is probably one of the most overt, there's a couple, one of the most overt really dealing with the gender issues of heterosexual male-female relationship dynamics. But it does it in a humorous yet telling way where she basically gets to show him or explain to him or demonstrate to him, I'm not going to say exactly because the way it happens is quite fun, how he's not fully understanding things from her point of view. And that kind of realization, and of course to the audience too, you get to really enjoy what's actually going down. And it actually goes down pretty serious paths too about just, sexual roles and what's expected and what's consent. And there's a lot of interesting things going on there that are more serious than the lighthearted nature of the actual progression of the story. But once again, it's a really good one. I would highly recommend that one out of the batch. The third one I'd like to mention is actually the first one in the series, and that is called Waffle. This one is definitely one of the most unique. Once again, it's pretty lighthearted, and I wouldn't want to give the impression that these are all lighthearted. Definitely, there's kind of a mix, but there's enough lighthearted ones that it really does intercut and give you kind of a nice up and down. You don't feel like you're slogging through these. You definitely have some up moments. So Waffle, the basic concept. First of all, this is directed by Carlin Hudson. Now, this is going to be two characters. Once again, shorts. It makes a lot of sense to have two basic characters. There is one third character in here, but he's not really that involved in it. The two main characters are going to be Katie Morovich, and Carrie Barker. Now, of all of these shorts, the actress Katie Morovich that plays Katie in this one, I feel like she's definitely one of the standouts. She is excellent in this, really funny, but also weird and scary, which is what she's supposed to pull off here, and she does a great job on all accounts. Once again, basic concept, she's like a waffle fortune heiress. So again, that kind of gives you a strange feel, and she's about as weird as that sounds, and this is kind of an alternate reality where you kind of have an app or a service that's similar to Uber, but instead of bringing you a car, they bring you like a friendship, or in this case, it starts out and like the two characters are kind of having like a sleepover, but it seems really forced and unnaturally cheery, and especially for the age that they're at, they're almost acting like they're teenagers instead of full-grown adults. Kind of that, they're all in their pajamas and they're having this excited sleepover and they're dishing and talking, playing games and whatever. And quickly you discover this is kind of this weird service, and as time runs out, you have to renew the time or add money to keep it going. And quickly you discover that Katie is a bit more obsessive and almost like a fan/fanatic of the service. And our other character, Carrie, discovers pretty quickly that this isn't quite what she thought she was signing up for, and it becomes stranger and stranger as it goes. It's a lot of fun. It has some horror elements, but nothing super duper dark. Some good little twists. For a short, it really is a great example of how you can pack a lot of story into a small package and really do an effective job of it. So once again, even the closing credits on that one are really good. So I would highly recommend Waffle. Once again, these are all on Shudder, but I would bet you, and I didn't really research this, I would bet you can find these in a variety of places. A lot of times shorts will end up online, on YouTube or, Vimeo or a lot of places. Although I would once again support Shudder, because Shudder is bringing this kind of alternative content to the world, not just straight ahead, big budget horror movies. They're bringing lots of international film, highly creative and highly experimental film as well. So once again, if you can support Etheria through Shudder, who is officially being supported, Shudder's officially being supporting Etheria, those two things I think would be great to keep that sort of partnership going. Finally, my favorite of the bunch is Maggie Mae. Now, Maggie Mae is directed by Mia Kate Russell. Now, there's quite a few actors in this, but the two main actors that you want to pay attention to are going to be the character of Maggie Mae, played by Lulu McClatchy, and Sam, who is played by Katrina Mathers. Both of them are excellent in this. And I almost don't even want to hardly give you the setup of this, but it takes the idea of people in life who don't want to get involved in something that's bad or confrontational, to the extent that they've kind of checked out of life and have become, homebodies or almost couch potatoes, or just living through, the media around them to the extreme. But taking that to absurd results or absurd ends. And once again, I don't want to give you the twist. The twist happens within 3-4 minutes, because this is only like a 15-minute short, 17-minute short. I don't remember how long exactly. But there is stuff in this that ends up to me being the most horrifying of the bunch. It's not the bloodiest of the bunch, but the most horrifying, because the things that happen in this and the way it goes down is just really, really bad news, but it is so good. So I would highly recommend Maggie Mae. To me, that's the winner of the bunch. Although there are, like I said, 4 or 5 really strong ones, 3 or 4 really good ones, probably only 1 or 2 that really kind of didn't quite make the mark to me. And really all of them have at least something really good or a great idea, and maybe just didn't execute it quite to the way I wanted to execute it. But these top 4 are excellent. I would take your hour and a half, 2 hours out of your day and check out the Etheria Shorts Film Festival 2020 on Shudder, and support Etheria Film Festival if you can do that. I'll be back soon with another movie.